Now get set for the late-night take on the eat or be eaten world of sports. This is Midnight Snack with Moe Khan and Trex Griffin from the station that'll never let its friends go hungry. TSN 690.
$12:14 here on TSN Radio 690. Jim G bringing the tunes today on the Thursday edition of the college football as South Carolina easily goes through UNC. Ole Miss, Vanderbilt. Close game right now in the fourth quarter, 28-25 for the Commodores. Let's welcome in our next guest from the Calgary Stampeders, Nik Lewis. Nick, how you been, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Not bad. Watching some college football. At least.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching. Did you just see that punt?
I did. That was terrible.
I just hate when returners are scared to lose games and they don't want to catch a ball and they give up 13 yards of field position.
It's funny, though. Obviously, you know the game very well inside out, but it just seems like the education on how to return a punt has been a lost art with these young bucks.
Yeah, I know. Something you might not know, Mo, but in college, I did my senior year average 21.9 yards of punt return my senior year.
That's a pretty impressive punt return.
Yeah, and I averaged 12.4 here in Calgary my rookie year.
So why isn't that you? Well, I know you have Larry Taylor. I mean, Larry's a pretty good punt returner. But
then when Kenyon came in, Kenyon kind of took over. Me and Kenyon kind of split duties my second year a little bit, but that wasn't something I was too interested in anymore.
Quick question: Are you a Simpsons fan by chance?
No, I really don't watch The Simpsons.
Oh man, I was giving you the example of Bart Simpson, right? Like the Simpsons buy a swimming pool, and Bart hurt his leg, and he stayed in his room the entire summer. Now I'll ask you this first question, though. Your reaction, your first thought that went through your mind when that injury occurred against BC?
I knew it was broke. And I don't really recall pain. I just recall knowing instantly that my leg was broke. They came out and they said, "Did you hear a pop?" And I was like, "No, it's broken. I heard it snap." And the next thing that went through my mind was get off the field. My mom's always told me if I lay on the field, she's coming down there. So the next thing, and I know she's watching on TV, so the biggest thing for me was get off the field. So I just told them, get me off the field. They said, no, we're bringing the cart out. I said, no, get me off the field. And I gave them my arms and made them take me off the field. I'm not going to be a spectacle laying on the field. So I got up as fast as possible and made it to the sideline.
Now, did someone fall on your ankle, or was it just a weird cut on that BC turf that resulted in the broken ankle?
Yeah, it was Elaminian. He, usually he goes and hits people and he explodes. And I know that. And when I seen him, I tried to step into him and explode out at the same time. And my foot was at an angle on the ground trying to explode. And instead of hitting me, he grabbed me and pulled all of his weight backwards, and his whole body fell right on my leg, and it just all got caught underneath him.
Was it a dirty hit in your mind?
No, I don't think it's dirty. I think it's just out of his character. But I wouldn't say it's dirty. It was 100% legit. He didn't grab me around my jersey and pull me backwards or anything. It was a 100% clean hit. I've seen it about 12, 15 times, so it's clean. It's just something that he doesn't do.
So out of his character then, more or less.
Yes. And I guess if I would have been anybody else, he would have hit him. But, due to the circumstances, it was like, I think, a minute and something to go in the half, and that was the first down. So we're trying to make a drive to go put points up. And, he probably just thought I need to make a sure tackle and not just try to hit and flow through him. So, no, it's all good.
We're in conversation with Nik Lewis of the Calgary Stampeders here on TSN Radio. When did you learn that you were done for the year? Of course, there was reports from the Calgary papers saying that you had torn your ligaments. Did you learn of that before the surgery or after the surgery?
The day before surgery, last Wednesday. So actually I went in the day after and got x-rays and pretty much knew the bone was broken, and they said it was broken. I'd be out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken bone. Ended up getting MRI on Monday. So 2 days after that, or the day after that on Monday, I got an MRI. I went to the doctor on Wednesday, and that's when he told me that all the ligaments were torn. And I even tore the ligament that connects your knee ligaments to your ankle ligaments.
That doesn't sound too nice.
Yeah, it just pretty much tore everything up in there. So it's pretty. It was kind of frustrating at first, but it happens, and I just I feel like I'm blessed to be able to go 10 years before it happened the first time.
Now, what is the recovery process now? Is this a 6-month process, or is this going to be a 3 to 4 month rehab and get yourself strengthened for the new year in 2014?
I think I'm going to cast for like 2.5, 3 months, cast and walking boot, and then I know that I can't walk on it for 6 weeks, and I think I should be running by December. So, that still gives me some hope that if I heal just a couple weeks earlier, that I could possibly make a Grey Cup appearance. Maybe. We'll see.
Well, Kobe is trying to gun for November 1 for the Lakers. I mean, November 25th, I believe, is the Grey Cup dates.
Yeah. So
it's not that far.
Not that far, but I'd only do it if I was 95% and playing without pain.
My mom always told me milk is a really good asset in helping your bone get stronger. So maybe some milk can help out.
No milk. I've been taking some Vector 450, man. I met this guy in Dallas, and I've been using this Vector 450, and each pill is like 4 to 5 raw chicken eggs. So, it helps. The healing process helps produce more red blood cells and things like that. So
right.
I've been on that all season, so maybe I'll heal faster with that. And I'm looking for a place in Calgary that has the hyperbaric chamber, and maybe I'll pull a T.O.
Well, T.O., he broke his ankle, I think, late December and was playing against the Patriots 6 weeks after. So it is possible, theoretically speaking here.
It is possible. I just don't think T.O. had any ligament damage. So I think that was his biggest thing and that's the biggest thing for me is I've always played with pain, and I can always deal with pain. But now they're telling me it's not about dealing with the pain, it's about letting things heal.
Right.
So I think that's the precautionary thing because, I can deal with the pain, once my swelling goes down. It's just now I have to understand the concept of letting the bone heal and letting all the ligaments heal so that I can be good enough to play another 3 or 4 years or whatever I want to play.
We're in conversation with Nik Lewis of the Calgary Stampeders here on TSN Radio. Are you better than half the CFL receivers on one ankle right now?
No, they're balling this year. You got guys stepping up, balling out there. Quarterbacks are putting up big numbers, and right now it's just about the fact staying healthy.
I know you brought up the tweet. I know you mentioned Ricky Ray and how he'll be out for the next 6 weeks. Are you concerned, though, on the rash of injuries with you, Jamel Richardson to name, Ricky Ray now out for the next 6 weeks, and how the quality of depth here is getting nailed with long-term injuries?
Yeah, and, no disrespect to some of those other guys, but at the end of the day, the fans really play to see good games and see great quality football. And sometimes, you get guys where you bring them in, and like us, we brought in 2 guys this week, and one of them might start. And they've been here for 1 week. So that's huge. And I think that lowers the quality of football. I'm not saying that they won't do good, but to go through a course of a game when you barely know an offense and barely know how things work, and, you lose guys like Jamel, there's some of the big plays that he makes week in and week out throughout his career. Ricky Ray, how effortless he's made things look this year. And just some of those guys, it just makes it harder to get that same quality of football when you have backups.
Who replaces your production with Calgary now? With you out, Jabari Arthur is now stepping up to the plate. You look at Snopley, who's playing pretty well. But who is that guy that you will look upon from the Stamps that will be the it guy for the receiving corps?
I don't really think there's an it guy. I just think there's a lot of guys that have to step up and do more. I mean, I'm a big fan of Anthony Parker this year right now. And, although he's not getting a lot of playing time when he's in there, he's making things happen. And I think he has a big playability and a lot of explosiveness to get it done. So I'll be looking forward to seeing him in the near future, continue to make big plays.
Earlier on Thursday, the Ontario board a judgment came out and ruled in favor of Chris Williams, saying that he will be a free agent. Your thoughts on this? Is this the right decision that Chris Williams be a free agent and explore his NFL, if not CFL, opportunities?
He should have been a free agent before the season, I thought. His agent wasn't a registered agent, so if a team dealt with him and knew he wasn't a registered agent, They should have told him, hey, you got to go get a registered agent, or your agent has to register before we can even deal with you. But I think with somebody with that talent, I think a team's willing to take that risk to go ahead and get the contract signed. But you can't get mad at the player for pulling their card for wanting out. And, with the difference of money that he could make in the NFL to what he can make here, it makes a big difference. But, I think he burned a bridge, and a lot of people will be very careful to deal with him. But with his ability, people will deal with him. And I just think that he should have always been a free agent when they went to arbitration the first time.
Now, Nick, we've spoken through Twitter numerous times about salaries and guarantees and whatnot with CFL players. Once your career is done, whether it's 2, 3, 4 years down the road, would you want to take a more active role with the CFLPA, become maybe the president and be a leader of the Players Association?
No, not at all. I think Mike Morale does a great job. I don't even want to touch that, I think my focus would be more towards coaching and things like that, or media. I'm not touching PA. That's too much. I don't like to argue that much. You got to go back and forth and always negotiating and always doing things. And I think our PA does a great job, Ed Molstad and Mike Morale, but not for me.
Coaching, you get hired to be fired, though.
That's all right. The contract's guaranteed.
That is true. Look at Dan Hawkins, right? Dan Hawkins played coach 5 games and gets paid 3 years. He's on vacation for the next 2.5 years, I guess.
Going fishing.
Fishing or surfboarding, whatever he wants to do during his free time. That is for sure. We're in conversation with Nik Lewis of the Calgary Stampeders here on TSN Radio. Your thoughts on Johnny Manziel? I know that's a hot this topic here. I know you played down south for your college years, but is he in the right for, whether or not he did sell his signature for money, but is it time for the NCAA to really be more lenient and allow players to make some sort of profit off their name or jersey sales for that matter?
Yes. I think that it's kind of funny. A couple of guys for Ohio State that sold their jerseys and stuff, some of them used it for rent for their mother. Johnny Manziel family is paid, so he doesn't need the money. But it's always great to be given something for what you're doing. But I just think college football right now is at an all-time high, and it's all about star power just as much as the NFL, CFL, NBA. It's about star power, and that's why they televise everybody coming out of high school now. And these teams have star power, and they're making all this money. I've seen a thing today where the top 10 average tickets, and you got 100,000-seat stadiums with an average ticket of $150 to $200. Notre Dame is $249 or $249 or $294 for an average ticket at Notre Dame Stadium that seats 80-something thousand people. You do the math.
That's a lot of money.
Players don't get paid.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money. A lot of
6 home games, and then you're going to get a couple million for a BCS bowl game. So they're making a lot of money to pay for these schools, and you can pay the players, but once you start paying players and you start rationing out a little bit of money towards freshmen get this much, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and so on, you're still going to have people that start to overpay players, even when there's a base salary where everybody gets paid the same.
And it's unique, that's for sure.
Yes.
It's a unique circumstance, that's for sure. Edmonton, as usual, the Labor Day Classic on Monday afternoon. Are they still the little brothers to the Calgary Stampeders?
Man, have you seen Edmonton lately?
I have.
Dude, they play great football for a lot of the game.
Well, they can't close out games, though, Nick.
Yes, that is a problem. But just when you think they can't close out a game, they'll close out one. And they have Fred Stamps. They have Hugh Charles, who I've known since high school. Man, and Riley is playing good football, and he's running the ball very well. I don't know how much more he can take about being banged up, but he sure gives them a great chance of winning week in and week out.
He's taking a beating game in and game out. You're absolutely right about that. I don't know if he can still stay upright come October, where games get a lot closer and a lot tighter.
Yeah, and then you think about it, like how long can you play that way as a quarterback? Play that bruising way. Buck Pierce, he played that way in BC, and then once he got to Winnipeg, he is who he is now.
And he might be out of the league next year, for all we know, right? With Winnipeg and how they're going with their quarterback shuffling game in and game out. Who knows who's going to play week one or the fourth quarter of a football game. So it's tough, man. It's very tough. You know this very well firsthand.
I just don't understand on what point Winnipeg didn't, before this season, before last season, say, hey, Buck, we want you to work with the quarterbacks, become a quarterback coach. You know, if you're interested, this is what we would like you to do. And get a quarterback in there. And they've kind of put themselves in a situation by not having a true backup quarterback, really. And now they're in this situation where it's hard to change the CFL without a quarterback.
Well, they may not have a backup quarterback, but they have 3 starters on their roster.
Goltz gives them the best chance to win.
I think so. I agree. He played pretty well against you guys. He's played pretty well in relief. I think he gives them the best chance to win a game or two if they can get that from a quarterback, whether it's him or someone else.
Yeah, that's it.
Finally, I asked you this question the last time we had you on back in early July, I think it was. What do the Stampeders need to do now to win the Grey Cup with you out of the lineup and some other key figures also out of the lineup?
It's going to come by defense creating turnovers, offense being mentally tough, not having those droughts. I've always prided myself trying to be the guy to step up and make a play whenever we wasn't moving the ball. Just being mentally tough and people stepping up. You know, as much as easy it is to say John Cornish, you know, that's going to be taken away at times. And there's got to be other people to step up and make plays. So I think the receivers are going to have to just step up, make the plays, keep the ball, chains moving. And if we keep controlling the clock like we have been, and we make enough big plays, I believe that we're still the best team in this league.
Well, will you be on the sidelines at all for any of the games, or will you be far away from the sidelines in the stands?
You will hear me on TSN. I'll be on the sidelines. I'll be out there yelling, jumping around, putting myself in danger. And, you know, I still go to meetings every day. I go to before practice meetings and after practice meetings. I try to get a good understanding of the offense with Dave and P on what we're doing week in and week out. So I can try to relate to some of the receivers. So now I just become a coach, like an extended coach, to be able to relate to the receivers what I'm seeing on the sidelines and just being involved that way.
Well, Nick, you have about 2.5 months until the Grey Cup. I'm sure many CFL fans would love to see you back out there on the football field if it's possible to play in the Grey Cup, if Calgary gets to that point of the season. And if so, you can have that Kobe Bryant-like performance.
If you see a tweet, Instagram, and a Facebook of an X-ray in the next 2.5 months, you will see me on the field shortly after.
Fair enough. Please wish Jabari Arthur a happy belated birthday for me.
I will do.
And give him a couple punches as well in the ribcage.
I will do.
Nick, thanks a lot. As always, a pleasure conversing with you about various topics. I'm sure we'll do it again before the season's out.
Indeed, anytime.
As always, take care, pal.
Have a good one.
You too. Nik Lewis of the Calgary Stampeders. You can follow him on Twitter at Nickel18. As always, very thoughtful, colorful thoughts from him in regards to the CFL and even the NFL and college football as a whole. Gave his thoughts, not afraid to say his point. And you heard it from him, Jim. We'll talk about more what he said on the other side of the break. Coming up next, a quick Sports Center update, followed by some more NFL talk. Cornell Mannings will join us in about 10 minutes' time here on TSN Radio. Stay tuned. This is The Snack on TSN Radio.